and land like this?
This is the Aero Modelers Association of Gurgaon, a group of super passionate men who get together to fly sleek, sexy planes that they've built every single Sunday.
You ready?
Ready? Ready, sir?
It's a constant game of aerodynamics. Will the plane that they've worked so long on soar or sink? We spoke to Sandeep Jain, one of the group's founders, and also someone who just watched one of his planes crash right in front of his eyes.
That's part of the hobby. We crash sometimes and we go home and repair and come back the next Sunday.
Okay, cool. So it's literally that simple. It doesn't actually.
Yeah, that's the fun part for the wife.
Why is it the fun part for the wife?
Because she has a laugh.
Oh.
The husband is at work.
Yeah.
Come back with a broken plane.
So just to keep things in perspective, the bigger problem here would be the diagnosing the problem. Why the engine cut? Now that takes time. That really needs so that it doesn't happen again. Repairing is not a problem.
The group is a particularly inventive and curious one. Right from Manmohan Singh, a former fighter pilot who'd transformed crutches into a stand for his plane.
This is 1 mm, mainly 1 mm different.
To Ranjeev Dubey, a senior advocate who builds historically accurate miniature aeroplanes. To young Arjun, who comes with his granddad and cousin to watch the sky.
I really like to help assembling the planes,
Why?
even if I'm not going to be able to fly them.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's like I get to learn how to also, like when I grow up, I can also make planes and how to assemble them and how to fly them. So like right now, I don't fly these planes that much because they're really fast. And
Yeah.
I'm not able to control them, so I fly, I fly a glider.
If Arjun has gliders just a few steps away, the men are looking at what we are told is the biggest bad boy on the field.
Doc Vikram is now starting his actual jet turbine model. There's a jet engine inside which runs on aviation turbine fuel which you get from the airport. We've actually got that from the airport. And his turbine is spooling up and the sound is just as when you're sitting in an aircraft, passenger aircraft, when the engine starts.
Wait, let me just make... But how do you actually build a plane? To understand this, we followed Dr. Vikram, whose day job is actually as a robotics surgeon, a very important detail for later, right to his home workshop.
This is everything that we use to put the planes together, and because there are so many different types of screws and nuts and bolts and everything, so we need a set of every different size of screwdriver, hex key, Allen key, everything. So these are all different kinds of screwdrivers and keys. You got different pliers, hammers. I have the advantage of being able to use a lot of surgical instruments as well. I get them from the hospital and use them. So these are basically forceps which we use in surgeries, scissors and forceps. And even more advanced, these are the forceps which we use in laparoscopic and robotic surgery. So I can actually, operate stuff from a long distance and use these to manipulate stuff inside the body of the plane.
For 3D printed planes in particular, it's a process of first 3D printing the pieces, then assembling them, then installing electronics inside the plane, and then finally all of the painting. For Dr. Vikram, the whole process takes about 10 days. But how do these builders decide which plane they want to create in the first place?
Recreate a German plane.
Does one end up looking at historical models from different decades and then choosing one that they're going to go after? What does that look like? Are you reviewing 80s, 90s, ऐसे थे, this is the one I want to go after?
No, it's very simple. You're just complicating it. I want everything. I want every single plane from the Second World War and from the First World War. And I'm not particular about German. So if you pan around and see, you'll find that there are American planes, there are British planes, there are Russian planes, there are German planes, there's an Italian plane. So I have planes from every country. It's just that they were just such beautiful machines.
It's these beautiful machines, these products of much devotion, that inspire this group to push the boundaries of artistry and aerodynamics, but all while having a whole lot of fun. With video journalist Pramod Kumar, this is The Breakfast Club. All right, we hope that's left you inspired. And if you yourself are thinking, chalo, let's try flying objects in the sky, we were told to tell you that you need to check what's a green zone, what's a red zone, what's a yellow zone. The government has actually demarcated areas where you can fly and can't fly. So we do have to give you that warning.
But it did look like a lot of fun, and flying objects, it sort of brings out the child in you, doesn't it? Goes back to kite flying and how it used to happen in innocent old days. But we're not done just yet on the story. The trickiest part of actually taking out time of the weekend is usually this is the only time you get to have quality time with your family. So how do you manage it all? To understand that more, and to see how people actually pursue their passions to their zenith and how they balance the push and pull of work, health and family commitments, and find time for just doing this. Following their passion, we have with us Smita Das Jain. She's the executive life coach, but she's also the writer by passion and an author of 4 published books, who writes every day. Her debut short story collection, A Slice of Life, was named amongst India's top 3 fiction works by the Right Fluence, and her debut novel as well, A Price to Love, found a mention in several top 50 lists as well. Hi, good morning, Smita. Thanks so much for joining us. So the first obvious question on this is कि समय कैसे निकालती हैं आप? How do you ensure, how do you selfishly take out time to pursue your passion and not feel guilty all the time? Oh, I could have given this extra time to my child. Oh, I could have, read that book. Oh, I could have, gone for a drive with my husband at this moment.
Good morning, Sonal. Good morning, Toya. And it's wonderful to be here with you today talking about my passion of writing. I write every day. To your question, Sonal, how do I find time? Okay, one needs to be intentional. It's not about being selfish. In fact, passion, finding time for your passion, being intentional about it, it's all about selflessness. It's about self-care. For me, finding time for writing is about connecting something deeper within myself. It's about giving myself that downtime from work. See, there are a lot of pulls and pressures of everyday work, be it in a job or be it in a business. And then as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter and daughter-in-law, you do have a lot of commitments. So for me, setting this intentional time every day is a way to connect with myself, nourish my soul, take that mental break from the pulse and pressure, so that when I get back to the regular life, I am more re-energized. I am all the more excited to take on what life has to give to me. With regards to finding out time, it's if you love anything, you will find time. And for me, honestly, the most important person in the world is myself. It's only when I give time for myself that I will be able to be present in my other roles as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a life and executive coach. So if I am serious about being present in every situation of life, I have to take out that time. And it's not that difficult, small, consistent steps. So these 4 books, all it took is taking out that 1 to 1.5 hour time every day. And because the day is so busy, like 9 a.m. onwards, I am into sessions, and then afternoon and evenings are for the family, and then again intermingled with sessions in between. For me, it was simple. I used to get up at 6 a.m. earlier. Since I started writing, I have been getting up at 5 a.m. every day. And 5 to 7 is my writing time. That is the time when no doorbells ring, when my household is asleep. I am not bothered with phone calls or anything else. And I simply switch off my mind from anything else that may be happening in any corner of my home or other corners of the globe. And it's about pressing my fingers on the keyboard and writing whatever comes to my mind. Because you are doing it every day, eventually it leads to something. In my case, it has led to 4 books, and there are many more on the way.
Smita, if I can ask, if you're waking up at 5, that means you're going to sleep quite early. And what that may also mean is you're possibly taking away from, as you said a little earlier, the thing you do in the evening is spend time with your family. Now, you have a 14-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Kids, from everything I've heard from parents, kids at all ages are difficult, but 14-year-old teenager is really someone, who may want her mother's attention. How do you grapple with that aspect, balancing?
See, balancing mom guilt is something all mothers will suffer, be their daughters are 4, 14, or even 30 for that matter. I know my mother still looks after me despite me being whatever age I am. See, it's about some days you're thank you so much for that. I am. So in some days, it's all about prioritization, if I have to put it in other words. You can have it all, really, but you can't have it all at the same time. So it's all about prioritizing. For me, essentially, I go by the rule of 3. In a day, you can't focus on more than 3 important things. And it's not about really, I have stopped balancing long back. For me, it's all about integration. So some days your personal life will take precedence and work and passions take a backseat. Someday you really are in that creative frame of mind, that creative flow, and there is a product you are excited about. So you have to give that time to your passion, and other aspects of life take a backseat. At the same time, kids as a child, children will demand your attention all the time. It is up to you as a parent to set an example. My daughter has been seeing me go to work ever since she was 2 months old. She has always seen her mom working. So for her, it's very natural. Yes, sometimes it happens that now that, I have my own coaching setup, I also have that luxury of being in control of my time because I work for myself. But some days it does happen, I'm in a session or I'm writing something and she's on the side looking at me like that, wanting my attention. But then I focus on doing what I'm doing. And she goes back after that.
Yeah.
That is her lesson. Okay, I want her, but it can wait because she's busy in something. And I think as a parent, I'm setting an example for my child like that, which is important.
Yeah, that's a nice one. And Smith, a couple of takeaways from what you've said. One, it's not about just the weekend. It's about that one particular time of the day, every day. So it's a routine that you set up and that hour is your hour. It's therapy for some, it's meditation and, looking inwards for the others. So that's one. But a lot of struggle that I see with mothers these days, especially whose kids have, flown out of the nest and they've finally gotten out of their identities of being a wife, being a mom, being a daughter-in-law, about identifying the right passion. Do you have some tips on how do you understand what is it that you truly want to do for mothers, like I said, who've dedicated their life to family and suddenly realize, oh, I have time now, what do I do?
Oh, yes, definitely. Though, disclaimer right at the start, we are different individuals at different stages of our life. So what interests us in our teens may no longer hold good in our 20s. And what excites us in 20s will not stand a candle in front of us when we are in our 40s. But having said that, all work and no play makes Jill a dull girl. If you want to be at your best in the other aspects of life, you need to have that outlet, something that that gives you more pleasure rather than taking any pressure. If you haven't identified something, all it takes is observation. Okay. For example, if you go to a bookstore, what are the sort of shelves you are likely to visit first? That's a clue to your passion. When you have free time, you scroll your phone, you go to some social media, but within that social media, you consume a particular type of reels or a particular type of post. There may be some sites in the, when you are doing, when you are working on a laptop, it's rarely nowadays we have only one screen open. We have, a Google open on the side, and when we want to take a break, we visit some type of websites on the side. Take a pause and ask yourself, okay, which type of sites am I visiting regularly when I want to take a break? Ask yourself, okay, in the past, what are the sort of activities I do where I lose all flow of time, all track of time, and immerse myself in that activity? Those are the clues to your passion. You will see the patterns. It's just about observation, what you are doing in your everyday life. And there you will get your clue.
Smita, these are some really concrete steps. That's what I've loved about this discussion. Usually it's easy to descend into platitudes. You've given us some very concrete things, right from the rule of threes to the importance of observing oneself to understand what one loves. Okay, we're going to take you, our Breakfast Club audiences, now into a quick break. We hope the start of the show, the top stories have given you a lot of inspiration to go into your weekend with. We hope you explore a little this weekend. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
The next Indian icons, beating everyone on the globe, B6E and XEV9E. Mahindra's electric origin SUVs. Catch them at Unlimit India.
विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो, पुरानी इस जमीन पे नया इतिहास हो। जरूरतें हैं पानी की जो दूर दूर तक, पियो ना ऊक से पियो जितनी भी प्यास हो। एक बार हमारा नाम लो तो एहसास हो, विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो। उन उंगलियों की खैर जो धागों को बुनती हों, फ्यूचर का ख्वाब देखो तो तकिए के पास हो। उड़कर चलो ना फ्लाईओवर से तो जानोगे हम कितना कुछ बनाते हैं विकास के लिए। उम्मीदें भर के देते हैं हर एक चीज में हम हैं ना, अगर आपकी उम्मीद खास हो। जुड़े हैं हम 140 करोड़ लोगों से, चारों ओर देखो तो एहसास हो। विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो। वेलस्पन वर्ल्ड।
अच्छा बच्चों, बड़े होके क्या बनोगे?
I wanna be a footballer, फिर कोच, me a car designer, then an artist. अंकल और आप?
मैं तो बिजनेसमैन हूँ।
पर उसके बाद?
मतलब
आप बूढ़े होके क्या बनोगे?
अपनी खुशियों वाली रिटायर्ड लाइफ की प्लानिंग करो आज से with आदित्य बिरला सन लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
डीजे।
आप बूढ़े होके क्या बनोगे?
All right, welcome back. And since it's Friday, we are taking you to all things you can watch. And one sort of movie which has really been the talk of the town has been the Sabarmati Report. Enough has been said about it. Some people saying what are the facts behind, lots of censorship questions as well. But we thought it would be a good idea to sort of sit down with the cast to understand what the experience was all about. This is, of course, about the Sabarmati Express incident that happened on the 27th of February 2002. With the wounds of the day still linger and the impact that is still felt by countless lives being portrayed on screen for the first time.
Right. We have our colleague Sakshi Singh Toya. She's actually sat down with the cast to ask them a little bit more about what their experience was like bringing this historical incident to life. Bajaj Balaji Telefilms is bringing us this. It's the Sabarmati Report, as we said already. It's a gripping drama and it promises to shed light on all of these untold stories. Take a look.
Tell us why the story of 2002 to be told in 2024.
Because unfortunately, people, or especially there's an entire generation from 2002 up until 2024, they do not know what actually happened. So one of the primary reasons why I signed up on this film is because I have kids in my family and in my friend circle who in a couple of years will be college students, who are big enough, grown up enough, they have a mind of their own, but they don't know what happened. They don't know what happened on 27th of Feb 2002. Why do we think it's important for them to know what happened is because unfortunately this was that one tipping point, one pivotal moment in our modern history that changed our social fabric, our political fabric, everything. It changed, I think it actually took a 180 spin after this. Another main reason why we want, or I probably wanted to be a part of this film is because we primarily, in the backdrop of what happened with the Sabarmati Express, we are also talking about what role did the media then play.
And it's going to be very important for all of us because you guys are literally donning the hat of journalist, and Riddhi, you go way back, of course. If I could ask you what exactly changed after you got the script, after you worked on this particular film, did anything change as far as the perception is concerned?
I think for me a lot changed in the sense that I think the mind widened. You know, you just sort of had a more open mind towards media and journalism in general. One always knew that journalism is very strong and you know, it's a very strong pillar of society where you sort of give out the information that people seek from you. So that's a very powerful position by itself. But also the fact that there are so many voices that one has to hear. Like running this channel is not like whatever you want to say, you say it. You know, you go on air and say whatever you want to say. You have to run it by a couple of people. You have to, people have to see that, okay, are you speaking the truth in the way that, does this suit us? So what is that? Now, that is what we have sort of seen and understood while we were reading the script and doing our scenes, that there is a lot that goes on, and in that there are honest journalists and then there are journalists that are not so honest, or I would say who are okay to cover up the truth to a certain degree. So there are a lot of such aspects that sort of got opened up to me and the magnitude of things at large from journalism and media point of view, definitely.
But if I could talk to you about the raw material that we gather as far as the news is concerned, and when we actually package it and churn it out, it's completely different. We have to look at different aspects as well. If I could ask you from the perspective of an actor, what is that one moment that, you know, you are actually triggered about that, you know, I want to serve it to my audience in this way, but why do you have me to churn it out and filter it out?
See, I think for me, the first revelation was what happened, which I wasn't aware of. I wasn't aware of the incident. I'd heard of the riots, but I didn't know about the incident. So for me, it was important that that story reaches people. Like a lot of kids in my generation sort of are unaware, some of them are ignorant. The current generation doesn't know anything. There were some journalist students, I think about 5 in some 80, who knew something about what had happened, and it's very important to know your history. So for me, the reason was to sign this film first was to take this incident to the people. Just like we are unaware, a lot of people are unaware. Even my parents' generation is unaware. Coming back to the research, of course, we banked heavily on the research that was done by the team itself. Like they sat for 6-8 months and gathered everything. But we as actors, we had to do a research of that research because a lot of social responsibility lies on our shoulders and people see us on screen. कुछ भी होगा कल इस फिल्म का आवाज़ उठाई जाएगी तो हमारे लिए ही उठाई जाएगी because we are the face of the film. So keeping all those things in mind, we had to do a lot of research. We had to get into nitty-gritties. And what I realized was that a lot of the stuff that was available was very contradictory.
फ्रॉम दी एक्टर्स पर्सपेक्टिव मैं ये चीज़ जानना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि ये सवाल मैं अभी तक जितने भी फिल्म मेकर से बात कर चुकी हूँ या एक्टर से बात कर रही हूँ हाल ही में मैंने उनसे ज़रूर पूछा है और मेरे को कॉमन आंसर यही मिलके आता है कि लोगों का जो भरोसा है बॉलीवुड फिल्म्स के ऊपर या फिल्म्स इन जनरल जो थिएटर्स में आजकल आ रही हैं वो थोड़ा थोड़ा खोता जा रहा है. लोग चाह नहीं रहे हैं अपने घर के बाहर अपने कंफर्टेबल स्पेस से अब निकल नहीं पा रहे हैं स्पेशली कोविड के बाद क्योंकि उनको पता है कि अल्टीमेटली फिल्म इज गोइंग टू बी देयर ऑन दी OTT प्लेटफॉर्म ना. तो थ्रू दिस फिल्म व्हाट वुड बी योर मैसेज टू दोज पीपल कि नो घर से बाहर आओ फिल्म थिएटर में देखो क्योंकि मेहनत हुई है पैसा खर्च हुआ है टाइम गया है. Why should they be coming out and watching this in theater?
आना चाहिए क्योंकि एक कम्युनिटी एक्सपीरियंस है. ये फिल्म आप शायद थिएटर में बहुत एंजॉय करेंगे जो आप शायद घर पे बैठ के अपनी 4 दीवारों में एंजॉय ना कर सकें. कुछ फिल्में होती हैं जो आपको थिएटर जाके ही देखनी चाहिए.
दिस फिल्म वारंट्स योर अटेंशन क्योंकि आज अगर हम लैपटॉप या फ़ोन की अगर बात करें हम वी वांट योर अनडिवाइडेड अटेंशन. वी होप यू कैन गिव अस से 2 hours 15 minutes of your time. To watch it on the big screen is going to be a wonderful experience for you as an audience. And we want your attention actually because you know we realize that everyone is short of attention. Everyone is so overstimulated आज की तारीख में. तो हम चाहते हैं कि आप थिएटर में आएं ये फिल्म देखें और वो जो डॉल्बी एटमॉस का साउंड है उसे एंजॉय करें अपने दोस्तों के साथ आके ये फिल्म देखें.
All right, so that's the pitch from the cast of Sabarmati Report on how to go to the movies. But if that's not your thing and you want to switch over to OTT, well, there are more options that are coming up, which we'll bring up for you. Did you know that India's luxury real estate market is projected to soar to an astounding $180 billion by 2025? Now, this with a compound annual growth rate of around 15%. Now, this rapid growth is driven by rising disposable incomes and surge in affluent consumers. The K-shaped recovery, remember? With over 5 million households in India now classified as high net worth individuals. And with this rise in growth comes the rise in the buzz around these luxury homes and just the perfect entry point for the $1 million listing.
Right, $1 million listing India. It's an exciting Indian adaptation of the acclaimed Emmy-nominated real estate series, and the show essentially takes us into the heart of this booming market. Starting in the bustling capital right here in New Delhi, where luxury properties are obviously in high demand, and urbanites invest in high-end homes as a status symbol. On the show, we have with us top realtors as they navigate high-stakes deals and client demands on the real show, but they're going to be telling us a little bit about what takes place behind the scenes right here. They're going to be joining us right here on the show to take us, as we said, behind the scenes.
All right, so with us this morning, we've got Hem Batra. He's a real estate agent in South Delhi, Farms and Floors by Hem Batra. We also have with us Karuna Gidwani, another real estate agent. And we also have Prajesh Bhatia, the real estate agent from Delhi's top real estate agent since 1987. Prajesh, can I begin with you? Mr. Bhatia, yes, and get a sense of it. The glimpse that I've seen of the $1 million listing in places like Dubai, in LA and other places paints a picture which is not just about the property. There is a huge way in which people are influenced. There's a lot of negotiation. There's a lot of cattiness, sauciness on the program. So is that what is expected on the show from the India version as well?
I think it's going to be better than any version that has ever come out before of $1 million listing. And especially in this country, it is much more needed because in other countries, agents have licenses and agents, I would say, have more of a better social status and a better respect. But in our country, as Hemji has also said in the show, there are termed as dalals. And, like there is not enough respect and there is not enough knowledge about what goes on behind the lives of real estate agents and how they operate. So I feel like this is going to be the best version of the show that has come out in the world. And you're going to be very, very happy to see what's coming out in all the episodes.
Very cool. Okay, let's go to Karuna to understand. Karuna, tell us, on social media, something that's become quite a bit of topic of discussion in the last few months is real estate prices. Particularly, if you look at Gurgaon, for example, you've got Golf Course Road, you've got Magnolias, Aurelias. These are all, real estate. And for the rest of the country, these are all the most luxurious places you can live in the NCR region. But you have a lot of people on social media discussing the prices, comparing them to a New York, a Miami, a London, and saying, what can Delhi offer that makes these prices so high? And really, really questioning why the prices are that high, saying that we might be in a bubble. Karna, if I could get your comment on that.
Hi, thank you for the question. I think I will primarily try to answer your question. So Gurgaon has become a hot topic, and as you very rightly said, that people are talking about, so if somebody is buying a Camellias, it's in the headlines that 100 crore property has been sold. But you have to understand, Gurgaon is the new place wherein you have more than 350 Fortune 500 companies, most startups are coming there. So as you very rightly said, a lot of HNIs, high net worth individuals are moving to Gurgaon. Yeah. So as the incomes are also rising, so, earlier, so people did not put a lot of emphasis on community living, but Gurgaon is offering you within a radius of 5 kilometers, you have an exclusive property inside your condominiums, you have clubs, business deals happen over golf courses. So more and more people want to be a part of, a community, a place wherein everything is very, accessible. Like my schools are around, my workplace is around. I don't have to move too much and get stuck in the traffic. So I think that's why the prices are also increasing in residential, and more people want a lot of facilities within, small distances. So I think that's why we see a lot of buzz around it. And because of a lot of companies and startups, more and more people are moving towards Gurgaon. So I think the price rises are because of that.
Yeah. Mr. Hembatra, come in now, and I want to understand a little bit about the life of a real estate agent. There was a time where you rightly said they were dalal in, if you are in Punjabi Bagh, that's what they will call it. If you are in other parts, they will be very nice agents. But more and more people, even now when I interact with folks in Noida, even in Mumbai, the profession has taken a major facelift. Could you give us a sense of who all are entering the profession, and perhaps also an average salary that one earns out of it?
Hi, thank you. So technically, this profession was never marked as a profession which a parent would ask their kids to take up to for the future. Now, that is the shift that now parents see this as a serious profession and a money-making profession. And obviously, in the past, we were not getting that kind of a respect because the way the things have been and the kind of practices that people have been doing before. But I think that has shifted over. This has become more organized, still not completely organized, but has evolved. Now, the point is that the profession which has so much money, so much responsibility, that profession has to have that due respect. And I think that is what exactly is changed, and that is evolving now. Now, everybody in
How much money?
You're talking about a number of mine, or you're talking about a number of an average real estate?
Give me a window.
At all, whatsoever, but a real estate internee, then the numbers you can talk about is almost about making about 10 to 12 lakh rupees per annum to start with. That's for somebody who's under training, somebody who's just trying to learn, because this has a lot of potential and still has a lot of potential as an Indian market. You would see this growing and this profession growing too much, because just to give you an example, after watching $1 Million Listing, the change this has brought is my own daughter, who she's just 17, she exactly said the same thing to me, that, Papa, can I come and join you after once I've completed my study? So that was the moment of realization that yes, we are reaching there, what exactly that I wanted to get out of this whole show.
Okay, let's go very quickly to Prajesh and ask him. Prajesh, I hope it's all right that I point out you're a little younger than the rest of the cast, and I'm pointing that out for a reason. I want to ask you, so much of what you do is negotiation. It's sitting down with people, it's closing major deals, and I just want to ask, have you developed, because one of the things we want to come and ask you is what are the techniques behind the scenes? So take us behind the scenes, tell us what are negotiation techniques that you use? Do you have any tips, tricks, secrets? Especially because you're younger, you're often sitting on the table across people who are a lot older than you.
Right. I would say, I would just give a couple of tips right now, because I have done 2 negotiations on the show and even more. It's just one has come out right now, and as the episodes come out, you're going to see how I negotiate. But the 2 tips that I would like to give is, number 1, don't shy away from confrontation, right? Sometimes the seller or sometimes the buyer is going to be a little rude, they're going to be a little stern, but you just have to keep punching, and keep that sort of persistence. And time is your best friend, right? It is all about who's ready to sit down and just keep negotiating and just keep talking, because I have seen with my own eyes that, somebody who started, I closed a deal of 16.25 CR, right? And the demand of the seller was 17 CR, and the owners sat with him and I sat with him for like 4 hours, and we just brought down the price and we negotiated so much. And obviously I'm not going to reveal everything because you want to see it on the show, but I think time, persistence, and just not shying away from confrontation and just not shying away at all helps you become a good negotiator.
Lovely.
All right, then. We leave it there for the moment, and we hope to get more and also to see more women in the space. Good to see that happening over here. But the thing that fascinates me the most about this show is actually who are the buyers? What's their life like? I think that's the bit that everybody is waiting for as well.
We
But on
already
that
have
note,
real
we
life
do a big
Bollywood wives.
maximum.
That's one part. Delhi lives, you know what I mean? All of these ladies. We'll head into a quick break. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
अच्छा बच्चों, बड़े होके क्या बनोगे?
I wanna be a footballer. फिर coach. Me a car designer, then an artist. Uncle और आप?
मैं तो बिजनेसमैन हूँ।
पर उसके बाद?
मतलब
आप बूढ़े होके क्या बनोगे?
अपनी खुशियों वाली रिटायर्ड लाइफ की प्लानिंग करो आज से विद आदित्य बिरला सन लाइफ इंश्योरेंस।
डीजे,
आप बूढ़े होके क्या बनोगे?
There's my boy! Phil, Ralph, Ron! Thanks, guys.
Deal is locked, babe. I'll see you at the fest.
When you arrive in life, you deserve the best of a drive.
Presenting the dazzling new Desire, the best and beyond.
We wanted to create a completely automated exchange where you place the orders in matches the orders automatically.
NSE was really assumed to be created to remove the ills of the existing stock exchanges.
The stock markets have reached entire India largely on the basis of the technology, the transparency, but more importantly, the trust that has come up.
The start of NSE as the new
wave of stock exchanges was a very significant symbol of the financial sector reform of India.
It has already created presence across 250 plus cities. It has already created a significantly large amount of market cap which it is operating. I think what more can be expected from the NSE? It can only grow.
This was created 30 years back, and you created a system at that point of time, which is even today the top leading system. That's the achievement.
I am proud that I have been associated with an institution which today is ranked as one of the best in the world.
I would like to congratulate NSE on the role it has played over the last 30 years.
My message will be to just continue to excel and continue to take forward the vision created by the founders.
In 30 years, NSE has become one of the largest institutions of this country, and it has helped India create that wealth, which was unbelievable.
To attaining this goal of becoming the 5 trillion economy, and the role of institutions like NSE becomes even more important. Without your role, there is no Viksit Bharat.
Welcome back. Now, moving on, we've got a chat with spiritual leader Jagdish Vasudeva Sadhguru, as he's called, who's sounding the alarm on the devastating impact of soil degradation, warning of global desertification and urging leaders to take action.
Right, the need for focused policy is essentially what he's been focusing on. He's also obviously continuing to talk about the importance of soil conservation, the importance of balancing economy and ecology, sometimes what can seem like two conflicting needs. Sadhguru shares his vision for a sustainable future in this longer conversation with Anand Narsiman. Take a look.
Waking up, it's a deep slumber. It doesn't go away so simply. Unfortunately, most human beings are in a condition that they usually wait for a massive disaster to happen. I hope we don't take it in that direction, because as per all agencies and various other independent studies, everything suggests we have only 40 to 50 harvests left on the planet. So that means we really have no plan for our children. So if we go there, then recovering from that will take a long time. This is a time to change. Some changes are happening since we started Save Soil. While European nations have started formulating soil policies, in India, already there's a recommendation for all the states, but because so many different political parties are ruling different states, there is a certain slow action, but beginning to happen.
Can AI tech help, and how?
In analysis…
Would you encourage youngsters in our country to look at this as an aspect where perhaps technology can help, AI can help improve soil quality, life, or even yield?
Let me put this very simply, Anand. There is life. How does life happen? According to scientists, they are saying about 1 billion years ago, I don't know the time, but they say it's 1 billion years ago, some very smart fungi or algae figured it out as to how to cook their food with solar energy. Today we call that process as photosynthesis, which is the basis of all life on the planet. But in the last 1,000 years, we have removed 85% of the photosynthesis on the planet. That means we don't have a plan for life. Everything that's life is rooted in this one aspect, that's photosynthesis, for which we need a green leaf. So, right now when we say organisms in the soil, which are in trillions, in species, not in numbers. In numbers, I don't think we can even figure what's the number. There are trillions of species, that's what they're talking about. So when that is the case, the only food that they can eat, what they consume has to be organic. Though we are feeding a lot of plastic, they're not able to eat that. They can only eat organic material. So where will organic material come from? AI, Mars, now a lot of focus is on Uranus. Can we get it from there? No.
So are we looking at an impending food crisis? Because currently, especially in Bharat, the conversation is that we are having bumper yields. So much so that we are able to provide food security for the next 5 years because the yields are such. Is this a temporary phase? Are we looking at extreme desertification or food shortage in the next decade?
See, the very cycles of drought and flood that you're seeing is a clear indication. It is almost certain, if you see a flood, within 3 to 4 months, there's going to be a drought in the same place. People think these two things are different. No, this is a natural cycle. If there is a flood, there's going to be a drought. What a flood means is, water did not percolate into the earth, it just traveled on the surface. That means there is going to be a drought. There's no two ways about it. So bumper crops we may be having because still tropical lands are very resilient, they're capable of multiplying. And we must also not look just at the crop, we must look at the nourishment value. Where is it? Nourishment values have dropped significantly. Significantly means very significantly. There are not enough studies elsewhere to talk about it very clearly, but for example, if you ate an orange in California in 1920s, how much nourishment it would give you? If you want to get the same thing today, you need to eat 8 oranges. When was the last time you ate 8 oranges, Anand? If you had, you would have been orange by now.
All right, let's move on from that and take you through our entertainment wrap and bring you all the stories that B-Town is talking about, from Anupama star Rupali Ganguly's shocking 50 crore defamation case to a chilling threat against SRK's life.
And that's not all. YouTubers plot to extort Salman Khan, a disturbing revelation about American rapper. We'll just talk a little bit about this, but here are the juicy details with this Shosha Roundup. Take a look.
This week has been rather eventful on the entertainment front, and we bring to you the top 5 newsmakers. Anupama actor Rupali Ganguly has filed a defamation case seeking Rs 50 crore in damages from a stepdaughter, Isha Verma, who in an old post accused her of hurting her mother and separating her from her father, Ashwin K. Verma. In the lawsuit, Rupali alleged that Isha's claims have unfairly tarnished her image, both personally and professionally. Last week, Mumbai police revealed that a man called them and threatened to kill Shah Rukh Khan if he isn't paid Rs 50 lakh by the superstar. He claimed that he was standing outside Mannat, Shah Rukh's home, and made the call. After Mumbai police registered a case against him at Bandra police station, the man Faisal Khan has been arrested from his home in Raipur. YouTuber Sohail Pasha, who claimed to be the writer of a song titled Main Sikandar Hu for Salman Khan's upcoming film Sikandar, was arrested from Karnataka by Mumbai police this week. Reportedly, he had threatened the actor and demanded a ransom of Rs 5 crore in the name of gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. A suspect in connection with Liam Payne's death, named Brian Pace, made some shocking revelations about his relationship with the late One Direction band member. He hinted at something intimate happening on the night they spent together during their second meetup and claimed that Liam had a secret Instagram account and that he used it to reach out to him. He, however, stated that he never supplied Liam any kind of drugs. American rapper Sean Diddy Combs, jailed on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, is currently at a detention center in Brooklyn. He has been moved to a low-security dorm that reportedly includes holes that allow inmates to spy on female prisoners. On the other hand, musician Tanya Wallace revealed shocking details that in one of Diddy's infamous freak-offs, she witnessed how minors were forced to dress up as Barbies with red lipstick.
Horrifying details coming out there. All right, we're going to be ending our show though, and we hope that what we started the show with left you, as we said a little earlier, with a little bit of inspiration on how you can spend your weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, take out some time for yourselves. We'll see you though on the other side, and Sonal, you'll be joining us right here in studio. We're going to be coming together for you in just a few days.
Yes, all ready to get to the exhaust chamber, as they say, but nonetheless looking forward to being there in Delhi. Until then, see you guys, have fun. We'll see you 8 o'clock Monday. Ciao.
Goodbye.
विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो, पुरानी इस जमीन पे नया इतिहास हो। जरूरतें हैं पानी की जो दूर दूर तक, पियो ना ऊक से पियो जितनी भी प्यास हो। एक बार हमारा नाम लो तो एहसास हो, विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो। उन उंगलियों की खैर जो धागों को बुनती हो, फ्यूचर का ख्वाब देखो तो तकिए के पास हो। उड़कर चलो ना फ्लाईओवर से तो जानोगे हम कितना कुछ बनाते हैं विकास के लिए। उम्मीदें भर के देते हैं हर एक चीज में हम हैं ना, अगर आपकी उम्मीद खास हो। जुड़े हैं हम 140 करोड़ लोगों से, चारों ओर देखो तो एहसास हो। विचार नए हैं तो अब नया विकास हो। वेलस्पन वर्ल्ड।
अबे गुल्लू, क्या कर रहे हो?
कपाल भाती। यहाँ ऑर्डिनरी प्लाई जैसे हार्मफुल गैसेस नहीं है। खुल के सांस लो।
हाँ, यहाँ सब ग्रीन प्लाई, जीरो एमिशन प्लाई से तो बना है। अबे एक मिनट, हम भी करते हैं।
शाबाश। ग्रीन प्लाई का जीरो एमिशन प्लाई, हेनली इंटीरियर्स का रिप्लाई।
हाँ भाई, क्या हाल?
हाय, पढ़ाई खत्म हो गई। हाँ यार, रिजल्ट भी अच्छा रहा। हाँ यार, तू क्यों इतनी दुखी है? अब आगे का क्या प्लान है? पता नहीं, अब किसी अच्छी सी कंपनी में ना मौका मिल जाए बस। अरे उसके लिए भी तो एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए, नहीं? और एक्सपीरियंस के लिए जॉब। हमसे कुछ नहीं हो सकता।
अरे गाइस, हो सकता है और होगा।
पर कैसे?
ये देखो, मोदी जी की पीएम इंटर्नशिप स्कीम से। चलो देखते हैं। अगली 5 सालों में 21 से 24 साल के 1 करोड़ यंगस्टर्स को टॉप कंपनियों में मिलेगी 12 महीने की इंटर्नशिप और हर महीने 5,000 रुपए भी, साथ ही 6,000 रुपए का वन टाइम ग्रांट भी। तो लेट्स लर्न फ्रॉम दी काबिलियत को अनुभव से जोड़ेगी पीएम इंटर्नशिप स्कीम। विजिट करें pminternship.mca.gov.in या डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 1800-116-090।
In this world, where every second counts and every decision is crucial, I discovered what truly drives me: racing. And now, from a fanboy to the proud owner of the Hyderabad Blackbirds at the Indian Racing Festival, it's time to fulfill my dreams. Chase the rush and take on the competition. To all the other teams, get ready. The Hyderabad Blackbirds are going for the win.
Hello and good morning. Thank you for watching CNN News 18. I'm Shen Elizabeth Matthew. Let's begin this bulletin with the top story this hour, which is coming in from the national capital. Now, amid rising air pollution in the national capital, GRAP 3 has been imposed in the national capital, and Delhi Chief Minister Atishi made a big announcement saying that all government and private schools in the national capital will go online up to class 5. Now, as pollution level reached critical heights, the Central Pollution Authority, CAQM, implemented GRAP Stage 3 restrictions in Delhi NCR. Now, under GRAP 3 measures, there will be a complete halt on construction and demolition activities, along with suspension of non-essential mining activities. Along with construction activities, there is a restriction on interstate buses that are not electric. Now, CNG powered or the BS6 diesel compliant as well are going to be restricted.
दिल्ली में आज भी प्रदूषण सीवियर कैटेगरी यानी कि खतरनाक श्रेणी में बना हुआ है। इस वक्त हमारी मौजूदगी है दिल्ली के कर्तव्य पथ पर और किस तरीके से ये खराब प्रदूषण विजिबिलिटी पर असर दिखा रहा है उसकी तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं। अभी दिल्ली का ओवरऑल AQI जो है वो 410 है। और ऐसे में जहां इस वक्त हमारी मौजूदगी है यानी कि इंडिया गेट सर्किल के पास, यहाँ का AQI इस वक्त 419 यानी कि सीवियर कैटेगरी में है। और यहाँ आप तस्वीरें देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से ये ख़राब AQI आज विजिबिलिटी पर भी असर डालता हुआ नज़र आ रहा है। धुंध, स्मॉग का ये एक पूरा कोहरे की एक जो चादर सी है वो चारों तरफ आपको नज़र आएगी। थोड़ी देर तक आपको, थोड़ी दूर तक आपको जो है वो विजिबिलिटी दिख रही है। 100 मीटर 150 मीटर के तकरीबन ये विजिबिलिटी ज़रूर दिख रही है, लेकिन इसके आगे कुछ भी नज़र नहीं आ रहा है। इस सड़क पर जहाँ पर अभी हम मौजूद हैं, इसके इस तरफ इंडिया गेट की तस्वीरें साफ नज़र आती है, तो दूसरी तरफ राजपथ साफ नज़र आता है, राष्ट्रपति भवन साफ नज़र आता है। लेकिन आज क्योंकि जिस तरीके से हम कर्तव्य पथ की बात कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ पर विजिबिलिटी जो है वो 200-250 मीटर से भी कम बनी हुई है, इसीलिए कुछ भी नज़र नहीं आ रहा है। केवल सफ़ेद और धुंध का की जो एक सफ़ेद चादर सी है वो नज़र आ रही है। दिल्ली में लगातार सीवियर कैटेगरी में पोल्यूशन बना हुआ है, प्रदूषण जो है वो खतरनाक श्रेणी में बना हुआ है, जिसके चलते दिल्ली में GRAP 3 को भी लागू कर दिया गया है, जिससे आज 8 बजे से ये सारी रेस्ट्रिक्शंस जो है वो शुरू हो जाएंगी और इसके साथ ही कई चीज़ों पर पाबंदियां भी GRAP 3 में लगेंगी।
पोल्यूशन से बहुत परेशानी है। ये चलाने से, रिक्शा चलाने से आंखों में दर्द होता है, पानी चलता है। ये पोल्यूशन से बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है और 2 दिन से तो कोहरा पड़ गया है ना, और ज़्यादा दिक्कत हो रही है।
सांस लेने में प्रॉब्लम आती है और जी गले में स्क्रैच आती है। और जी जैसे कि हमारे अदर स्टेट में है कि जैसे हरियाणा होगा, ये करनाल साइड में है ना, जो पराली वगैरह प्रदूषण वगैरह जो फूकते वगैरह है ना, जो उससे प्रदूषण जो बढ़ता है, ये उससे सांस लेने में प्रॉब्लम होती है और जी गले में स्क्रैच होती है, सर्दी नजला जुकाम लगता है ये। और जो प्रदूषण है, डीजल वगैरह जो गाड़ियाँ है ना, जो ओल्ड मॉडल है सर, ये इससे भी बहुत सारी बीमारियाँ पनपती है सर, और वो जैसे आती है सर। ये सरकार को कंट्रोल करना चाहिए इसके बारे में सर। यहाँ पे ना नवी नवी चीज़ें आई थिंक जैसे भी इस पे रोकथाम लगनी चाहिए पराली पे। और ये डीजल वगैरह जो गाड़ियाँ हैं ना, ये ओल्ड है, ये सर ये बंद होनी चाहिए। ये
पोल्यूशन से बहुत दिक्कत होती है भाई, बुजुर्गों को सांस लेने में भी दिक्कत होती है, हमें भी होती है। और जो ये पराली वगैरह फूकते हैं, इससे भी प्रदूषण होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा प्रदूषण होता है इससे भी। डीजल गाड़ी से तो खैर है, जो ओल्ड मॉडल है उनमें तो प्रॉब्लम है ही, देखो वो तो प्रदूषण करती है। बाकी है कि जो CNG वगैरह की चल रही है, उससे बहुत ही वो हो सकता है, समाधान हो सकता है। बाकी है कि ये डीजल वाली जो गाड़ी होती है, इनसे प्रदूषण होता है, पराली वगैरह फूकते हैं ये। इसमें सरकार को ध्यान देना चाहिए इन बातों पे।
After 15 days of very poor air quality in Delhi NCR, today, this morning, the air quality is actually gone to severe. In fact, at various stations, it's actually severe plus. It's already 471 in Anand Vihar and a couple of other areas. Ideally, CAQM should actually, implement GRAP stage 3 or stage 4 for that matter. And it's an unprecedented kind of smog that we've actually seen. Of course, it's an episodic situation that we're talking about, but given the pattern that we've seen year after year, with the incoming winter, the situation gets really, really worse. It's high time that the government takes emergency measures in terms of public health advisory and implementing ideally grade 3 and grade 4 measures.
दिल्ली इतनी बड़ी गैस चेंबर बन चुकी है कि AQI कुछ इलाकों में 1300 पार है। लाहौर से ज्यादा प्रदूषित है हम लोग, और ग्रैप 3 इंप्लीमेंट करने की बारी आ गई है। प्राइमरी स्कूल को बंद करना पड़ रहा है और ऑनलाइन ले जाना पड़ रहा है। यह है उपलब्धि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार की। वाह, स्मोक टावर कहाँ है किसी को नहीं पता। पंजाब की पराली जिसको दोष देते थे, उसका क्या? 7000 घटनाएं हो चुके पंजाब पराली में जलने की, पर उस पर कोई जवाब नहीं। दोष उत्तर प्रदेश और हरियाणा के लोगों को, दोष दिवाली को। यमुना जी उतनी ही पोल्यूटेड है। 2025 तक डुबकी लगाने वाले थे केजरीवाल, अब क्या बोलेंगे यमुना नदी के बारे में? 10 वर्ष निकल गए, दिल्ली और भी ज्यादा प्रदूषित हो गई। हमारी जिंदगी और सेहत के साथ खिलवाड़ किया जा रहा है।
दिल्ली NCR में बढ़ते प्रदूषण के चलते पूरे NCR में ग्रैप 3 को लागू कर दिया गया है, और इसी के चलते कई सारी पाबंदियां एक बार फिर से बढ़ा दी गई है, ताकि दिल्ली NCR को गैस चैम्बर से मुक्ति मिल सके। पिछले कई दिनों से लगातार दिल्ली NCR में प्रदूषण का लेवल खतरनाक स्तर के ऊपर है और लगातार AQI बढ़ता जा रहा है। पहले जहां ये AQI 200 था, उसके बाद 300 हुआ, 350 हुआ और अब AQI दिल्ली और NCR के कई इलाकों में 400 तक जा पहुंचा है, जिसके चलते जो प्रदूषण का लेवल है वो काफी खतरनाक स्तर के ऊपर है। और यही वजह है कि लगातार जो लोग हैं उनको परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। डॉक्टर्स भी लगातार सलाह दे रहे हैं कि जिनको दमे की बीमारी है, जिनको सांस लेने में दिक्कत है, वो जल्दी सुबह घर से ना निकले, बल्कि इंतजार करें कि जब सूरज निकले तो उसके बाद ही वो घरों से बाहर निकलें और उसके बाद अपने कामकाज के लिए जाएं। अब ग्रैब 3 चूंकि लागू हो चुका है तो इसके लिए अब जो प्राइमरी स्कूल हैं उनको पूरी तरह से फिजिकल तौर के ऊपर बंद करने के आदेश दिए गए हैं और ये कहा गया है कि ऑनलाइन ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्लासेस जो है वो लगाई जाएं। इसके साथ साथ BS6 जो डीजल वाहन हैं वही सड़कों पर चलेंगे, उससे पुराने वाहन अब सड़कों पर नहीं चलेंगे। अगर वो चलते हैं तो उनका चालान किया जाएगा या फिर इम्पाउंड किया जाएगा। इसके साथ साथ नए निर्माण कार्यों पर पूरी तरह से रोक लगा दी गई है और साथ में ही जो अवैध निर्माण है उनकी तोड़फोड़ भी अब ग्रैब 3 लागू होने के बाद नहीं की जाएगी, बल्कि जो मुख्य सड़कें हैं उनके ऊपर लगातार जो फोगिंग है वो की जाएगी। एंटी स्मोक गन्स जो है उनका इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा और साथ में पानी का जो छिड़काव है वो भी किया जाएगा ताकि पोल्यूशन से बचा जा सके। जहाँ जहाँ जो एक तरह से जो सामग्री है निर्माण कार्य की उसको पूरी तरह से कवर करने के आदेश दिए गए हैं और ये कहा गया है कि जहाँ भी ऐसी सामग्री जो रखी गई है उसको पूरी तरह से एक तरह से कवर करके रखा जाए, उसके ऊपर लगातार पानी का जो छिड़काव है वो किया जाए और इसके साथ साथ किसी भी तरह से खुले में कूड़ा जलाने की इजाज़त नहीं दी जाएगी। डीजल के जो जनसेट हैं वो नहीं चलाए जाएंगे और साथ ही जो 15 साल पुराने पेट्रोल वाहन हैं उनके चलाने के ऊपर पाबंदी है। 10 साल पुराने जो डीजल वाहन हैं उनको भी चलाने के ऊपर पूरी तरह से पाबंदियां लगाई गई हैं। तो जाहिर सी बात है कि अब चूंकि ग्रैब 3 लग चुका है तो और भी सारी पाबंदियां बढ़ा दी गई हैं और अब कहीं ना कहीं लगातार जो शासन प्रशासन है वो भी लोगों से भी अपील कर रहा है कि निजी वाहनों का इस्तेमाल कम करें, बल्कि पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट का इस्तेमाल ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा करें, ताकि अगर निजी वाहन सड़क पर कम होंगे तो जाहिर सी बात है कि प्रदूषण का लेवल भी कुछ हद तक कम हो सकता है। तो अब
Now let's talk about the latest number as far as the AQI in Delhi is concerned, which is at 413. Now stage 3 of the grab in Delhi NCR has been invoked as Delhi's air quality continues to get worse. BJP takes pot shot at the Aam Aadmi Party. The BJP said that grab 3 is a temporary arrangement and BJP leaders have in fact blamed Delhi government for not being able to control pollution. Listen into the reactions that are coming in.
हमारी जो कंसर्न है वो है लोगों की सुरक्षा और इसलिए हमने कहा था कि छोटे बच्चों को स्कूल जाने से रोका जाए और जो बड़े बुजुर्ग हैं उनको भी एडवाइजरी जारी की जाए कि इस मौसम में बाहर नहीं निकलना है। तो ग्रैब 3 ठीक है, उस व्यवस्था को तो खड़ा करता है, लेकिन दिल्ली में किसी भी चीज़ का प्रतिबंध लगाने की स्थिति क्यों आती है उसका मूल कारण अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार के 10 साल हैं जिन्होंने कभी भी पोल्यूशन को लेकर गंभीरता से काम नहीं किया है। ये एक टेम्परेरी व्यवस्था है, हमें पता है लोगों को परेशानी होगी, लेकिन लोगों की जान बचाना प्राथमिकता होती है। लेकिन अंततः दिल्ली को प्रदूषण मुक्त बनाने के लिए फिर मैं कह रहा हूँ एक विज़न के साथ काम करने की ज़रूरत है।
I'm now joined by my colleague Akash on this broadcast. Akash, the blame game only continues. The BJP says that as far as the implementation of grab 3 is concerned, that is only a temporary solution. Effort should have been made months ago. You know, in a way, that is the same sentiments that is being echoed by a number of citizens in the national capital as well, that long back the action should have been taken.
Right, Sharon, and they are right somewhere because as far as that measures are concerned, that measures are only from the hospital and Delhi. We know that now several sort of restrictions have been put in.
All right, there seems to be some issue with the phone connection, but we'll connect back to our reporter Akash. But as of now, you can see how the grab 3 measures have now been implemented, under which BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel 4-wheelers are going to be banned in Delhi NCR region. And the most important thing that the government has now planned is that the offline classes, the physical classes up to class 5th is now going to shift to the online mode. I'm back with my reporter Akash. Akash, you were making a point. Tell us what is really the situation from where you're reporting right now.
Right. So, Sharon, I was talking about the grab measures because you see, whenever it is about grab, so we know that kind of restrictions that have been put in place in GRAP measures. BS4 vehicles, BS4 buses that are coming from different states are not allowed in Delhi and NCR. And as far as current situation is concerned, so AQI continues to be in the severe category, that is beyond 400. As of now, at Akshardham, it is 410. We know that how the concentration of PM 2.5 and PM 10 has increased, and this is becoming a problem for people here in Delhi. We know the kind of blame game that political parties are involved in. In fact, BJP has been, putting blame on Aam Aadmi Party that from last 10 years they are doing nothing. And whenever it is about pollution, so they are implementing GRAP measures, and they are following the GRAP measures. That is just a temporary arrangement, and this is further increasing the problem of people here in Delhi.
Thank you, Akash, for getting us the latest update from ground. Now, let's shift focus to the ICC Champions Trophy. After India refused to travel to Pakistan for ICC Champion Trophy, Pakistan Cricket Board said that ICC Champion Trophy to be taken to Kardu, Hanza, Muzaffarabad. All these locations are in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. I'm joined by my colleague Siddhant Mishra on this. Siddhant, India refused to go to Pakistan for Championship Trophy, and we are seeing a message is being now sent out by Pakistan where they are planning to take the teams to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. What is the kind of message that they are trying to send through this?
Well, Sharon, the BCCI has already informed the international. BCCI has already informed the International Cricket Council that it will not be traveling to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. And amidst all this, this social media post has come from the Pakistan Cricket Board. In fact, they have mentioned some of the areas which fall under Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, which includes Kardu, Muria, Hunza, and Muzaffarabad. Now, this tour will start from 2025. In 2025, but they are calling it a scenic travel destination, and perhaps this will not go down well with the Indian side, because this is a Pakistan-occupied Kashmir area, which perhaps Pakistan Cricket Board is mentioning in the social media post on X. So it would really be interesting to see that how the government of India would react to it. But for now, Indian teams are not going to participate in the Champions Trophy tour, and there's a lot of debate also about it. In fact, the leaders like Nawaz Sharif and others have urged India to send the teams to strengthen ties between the two countries. But A, India is not participating, and B, Pakistan is deliberately keeping these destinations, these locations as a destination during the ICC Champions Trophy 2025. Perhaps when these locations fall under Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
All right. So that is what we are seeing as far as the entire championship trophy is concerned, because now that India has refused to go to Pakistan concerning security issues in Pakistan, we are seeing that the Pakistan government, Pakistan authorities have in fact decided to take team to the POK, so certain areas in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The teams will be taken there, and like Siddhant Mishra also pointed out, that this is not going to go down well with the Indian side. Now, Siddhant, I request you to please stay with us as we are getting more breaking input as far as the international front is concerned. Now, after Oxford Union invites India baiters, angry Indian student protest in front of the Oxford Union. Cries of "it is known far and wide, Oxford Union stands on terrorist side." Let me now go back to my colleague Siddhant Mishra. Siddhant, it was very much on the expected lines that there is going to be, of course, protests from the Indian community, as the baiters of anti-India had in fact been invited for this talk at the Oxford Union.
Well, that's right, Sharon. So there was a debate which was organized by Oxford Union, and perhaps the ISI stooges and the people with the links with the terror organizations were invited by Oxford Union to speak on Kashmir. And this is a reason that, the Indian students were angry. And in fact, now we are getting to know that the Indian students at Oxford have condemned the invitation which has been extended to Zafar Khan and Muzabbil Ayub Thakur. These two individuals are the stooges of ISI in London. And in fact, there has been a massive protest organized by the Indian students outside the Oxford Union. In fact, Sharon, interestingly, one of these students, Adarsh Mishra, did speak up during the debate inside the hall. And in fact, he clearly said that JKLF is a banned terrorist organization with a documented history of violence against India and its citizens. Its leaders and members have been involved in heinous acts, including the killing of many Kashmiri Pandits and the murder of the Indian diplomats on UK soil. So perhaps a brave Indian student, Adarsh Mishra, did speak up in that very hall, condemn the invitation to ISI stooges, and also perhaps exposing JKLF, that how JKLF has links with is a terror organization and is behind the killing of many Kashmiri Pandits and Indian diplomats in UK. So there's a lot of anger and outrage when it comes to the Indian students in London because of this particular debate, which has been deliberately organized by Oxford Union, and perhaps the ISI stooges, ISI agents have been given the platform on this debate to put forth their point of view. Deliberately, this has been done. So, the Indian students are very angry upon it.
I'm now joined by BJP leader RP Singh on this broadcast. RP Singh, you can see, the title of the debate is that this House believes in the independent state of Kashmir. It is very much expected that when it is a debate, there should be the other side also who in fact should be speaking on this, rather than just calling those who are pro-independent state of Kashmir.
Well, Professor Zafar Khan is a stamped ISI agent and a JKLF leader, supporter there. And there are people who are there on their board who are the JKLF supporters or the leaders abroad. And JKLF is the organization which wants to divide India into two parts. So why don't they want to hear the other part? And
yes.
If it is a debate, then you have to hear the logic of the other part also, that how Kashmir has been part of India even before Pakistan was made.
Absolutely.
But it has been part of India since ages. Well, some few thousand years. So, but they don't want to do that because this is a narrative being built by ISI, and then they are using foreign lands and foreign universities to further that message. ISI is a clear agenda of K2, Khalistan and Kashmir put together, and they are active on both fronts now. And since they can't win war against India, so this is another way of cutting India into slices, or giving 1,000 cuts to India. And that's the way they want to disrupt Indian peace and harmony. But let me remind them, it's going to come back to them, because ultimately India is going to stay united. And recent election has proven that, election which was held in Kashmir, where more than 69% people voted for their people whom they have to elect and nominate in their respective assemblies. And today Kashmir has a political process and then there's a chief minister in the state who's managing the administration of Kashmir, unlike the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where it is being occupied under the gun by the Pakistan army.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. RP Singh, for putting across your point, and also thanks my colleague Siddhant Mishra for getting us the latest as far as the debate in Oxford University is concerned. With this, we slip into a short break. More news and update on the other side. Stay tuned.
ये खीखी करके दांत मत दिखा, तेरे एनामल लेयर को नजर लग जाएगी।
अरे पापा, मेरे दांतों का कैल्शियम हाइड्रो ऑक्सी एपेटाइट तो सही है।
अच्छा मेरे ऑक्सी एपेटाइट।
ये क्या बनाया?
चोटी बांधने का तो पता नहीं, पर अब हर कोई डेंटल एक्सपर्ट जरूर बन रहा है, क्योंकि शुरू हुआ है कोलगेट ओरल हेल्थ मूवमेंट। QR कोड स्कैन करो, फोटोज भेजो और पाओ फ्री डेंटल रिपोर्ट चुटकी में।
कोलगेट और न्यूज़ 18 नेटवर्क द्वारा दंत हित में जारी।
हम रातों में सूरज।
अप्पा, नया घर कैसा लगा?
हर दिल को छू जाए ऐसी रोशनी लाते हैं
फिलिप्स से हम जिंदगी की रौनक बढ़ाते हैं। फिलिप्स।
Okay, kids, let's play.